It's my wife's birthday tomorrow and the first one since we got married, so I knew I needed to get her something pretty good. I wanted to make her a kitchen island and did get started on the project, but as you can see, it's not going to be ready for tomorrow. So I need to calm down and simplify things just a little bit. She'll still get the island, but not on her birthday. So to give her that Christmas morning feeling, I need to do something. So she's really been wanting a mirror to go over the vanity in the bathroom, so that's what I decided to do. I found this mirror on the side of the road, waiting for trash. It was part of a chest of drawers where the mirror mounts over top of it, so I popped the mirror out and I'm going to make a very simple frame to go around the outside out of some reclaimed wood. But it was reclaimed wood that came out of this house, so that'll add a little extra special element to the project. So let's go ahead and get started. For this project, I went to my pile of reclaimed lumber, and it's pretty large. I just have it outside under some tarps, and ended up picking these door jambs. These were removed from the house that I'm working on now. And of course they're riddled with nails, as is all the reclaimed wood that I have. Some of it I've pulled the nails out of, but most of it still has nails in it. So I pulled all that out, and then it's a good thing to check your lumber with a metal detector. That one just came from Harbor Freight, and that makes sure you don't nick your planer knives or just hurt your tools in general. So I cleaned up both faces in my planer, and then kind of cleaned up the edges of the door jambs on the table saw, and then ripped it right in half. And the cool thing is about the door jamb is it already has the door stop built into it, which can act as a frame. So next I just got the mirror measured, and then using my miter saw cut the frame to its different lengths, and they varied by 2 inches. And then I didn't want to see the reflection of the paint in the mirror right along the inside edges, so on the table saw I just used it to kind of just rip the paint off, just barely ripping the paint off. And there's all the pieces, and I'm ready for a glue up. And the type of clamps that I use for doing things like this are band clamps, and then they have these little edge blocks, corner blocks that come with them, and I buy these from Harbor Freight, and they work great. They're basically just ratchet straps. So they give you some adjustability and all that, but all I did at first was just put glue on the joint. This is not what's going to hold it together in the end, but you just need to temporarily get the piece, the frame held together. And that's some additional blocks and clamps on top to make sure that those miters stayed squeezed shut. And then this is my spline miter jig, and this is what's going to add the real structure to these frames. And all it's doing is taking a little slice, not a slice, more just a groove right out of each corner at a 45-degree angle. You can see how it's held and passes over the blade. And the close-up coming up next in just a minute. But I'm also using a full kerf table saw blade. That is a 1/8 of an inch. You don't need to do that, but that gives you the ability to use a slightly larger little spline in there instead of using a thin kerf blade. Next, you need to rip some stock that will slip right into that little grooves you're going to cut out of each corner. And you saw how easily it slid in there. You don't want it to be loose, but you don't want it to be tight either, because once you add that glue, it really makes a big difference when you're dealing with that small of a tolerance. So just enough to where it slides in easy, and then the glue will take up the rest of that tension. Afterwards, I just nip off the excess with a saw as close as you can get it, and then I sand it flush. And you can sand this with whatever kind of sander you have, but a belt sander makes a pretty easy way to go. Afterwards, you just give it a quick sanding and then the finishing. And I'm using just Minwax polyurethane. This is satin. And at first, I just apply it in full strength. The first coat, just a 100% polyurethane coat, and then let it dry, sand it, and then I put some more on, but I have it thinned down a little bit with mineral spirits. And I sat it out in the sun to bake it really quick. And I did, I think, 3 or 4 coats total, but sanding in between with 220 sandpaper. The last thing to do is get the mirror installed, so I put that in and slipped the backer board in and some little screws to hold in the backer board, just kind of at an angle in the corner, and then use some eye hooks and picture hanging wire, to hang it on the wall. And there it is, it's mounted on 2 screws right onto the studs. There's the finished product, looks pretty good. My wife will be back home in an hour, so I pushed this project to pretty much the last minute, but I'm real happy with it. The color of the polyurethane gave it the little nail holes, the little dents with paint in them and stuff like that sort of all come together to have a nice, it's a real refined look, but it does show that this was wood that was used previously before, specifically a door jamb in the house. It's a door jamb that we removed actually in a project me and her worked on together, so that gives it a little extra meaning, and it's the same lumber I used in making the ring box for her engagement ring. So I'm real happy with that, and like I said, this is a basic project that most of you out there are going to be able to tackle. A table saw, a chop saw, you can get it done. So I guess that pretty much wraps everything up. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments below. If you got any questions, ask them. And guess that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. This next part may seem staged, but it is not. She has a very weird reaction to seeing the mirror, almost as if there was a monster on the wall. But here it is.
Gotcha! You got me, Mimi! You got me on camera, too!
Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and if you did and would like to see more, click the red button on the screen now and you'll get updates when I post future videos. Thanks for watching.